We're going to be ranking all songs from Breach on this tier list based on how trench-like they are. Let's find out if this new album by 21 Pilots truly lives up to the magnum opus that they've released in 2018. According to Album of the Year, Breach is actually quite close in score to Trench. I think I kind of agree with this. I think it's definitely the second best album they've ever released. We can take a look here, where we can see all the albums that 21 Pilots released, and you can tell that Trench is at an 84. The score has not changed in years at this point. It's just gonna be the score for good. And then we can take a look at Breach here, which is an 81. They're both must-hear albums, as you can tell by this little star in the red triangle. All the other ones did not even reach the 80s. In fact, half their discography is somewhat seen as mixed. And I think that I kind of agree with this rating, because if we take a look at Breach, there is a very cohesive sound that was missing ever since Trench, with lyrical content also being repeated, which kind of draws quite a nice thread throughout the whole record, making it feel a lot more connected in some way. You can take a look at a better analysis on this in this short. You can take a look at, I think it's here on the left, which is my left, or it's meant to be on your right, either way. A lot of people have been drawing parallels when it comes to Breach and Trench, mainly because of the name of the albums. Since a lot of people have been anticipating this return to glory when it comes to their sound, I think it would be interesting to see how much Breach songs actually fit into Trench. So to start with, to make things a bit easier, I decided to give each song 6 criteria which will help us understand whether a song belongs to Trench or not. The first one is textural synths. We're gonna be taking a look at the atmospheric and psychedelic synths that may be used throughout the song. The more Trench-like a song is, the less poppy and radio safe it might feel. But it's not necessarily about whether a song is likely to be played on the radio, but more about whether the genre fits better into alt pop than pop. Then there is the gritty low end, which I think it's a pretty big signature when it comes to 21 Pilots at this point. They've had 3 albums with this sound: Trench, Classy, and Breach. So we're going to be taking a look if there is distorted and dirty bass that sets the whole mood and makes the song a lot more moody, I suppose. Then there is the vocal color, which is whether there is a mixed voice and a falsetto being used throughout, because that's how a lot of Trench was performed. And of course, screams, even though there is not a lot of those in Trench in reality, but when people think of grittiness that Trench had, they think of that jumpsuit scream. So we'll be including that too. Pop tropes, like a lot of like, hey yo, woo, whoa, whoa, like if the vocals and the lyrics kind of follow poppy tropes that you would expect on a song on the radio. Then there is the lyrical weight. A lot of Trench is very cryptic. We can all agree with that. A lot of the lyrics are lore based, and a lot of the stuff would not make sense to a casual listener. Here we're not looking necessarily for lore related lyrics, because after all, after City Walls there's no more lore, but we're gonna be taking a look at more cryptic themes and intriguing imagery, if that makes sense. Sure, I mean, if there's low references, that'll help with the whole Trench vibe, but they're not really necessary since there is barely gonna be any, if we have to be honest. And then there is the structure, which is how the song paces itself, the slow builds, maybe the unique pacing, so anything like that that makes the song stand out more. Then there is the atmosphere, which is the overall immersion and how well it nails the Trench aesthetic. Lastly, I'd also like to mention Breach has its own identity more than it tries fitting into the Trench mold. This is just kind of for fun, because a lot of people like making comparisons like, is this album the new Trench? So this is mostly gonna be for fun. So this here is the tier list. As you can see, there is 4 different tiers, those being what's a trench? Because really, what is a trench? Then there is the glimpses of banditos, which is songs that kind of remind in some bits of trench, but they're not really fitting there. Then there is the Nico's relative, which is basically a song that could be a part of trench minus some maybe instrumentations or like some parts of the song that would not really fit in there. And lastly, there is Trench 2, which is what honestly could be placed in the middle of other tracks on Trench and it would not really raise any eyebrows. Alright, let's take a look at this. Shall we start with let's see if I find it, City Walls. Why didn't he put them in order? There's City Walls. I don't even think I need to elaborate, I'll be honest. The dirty bass is very reminiscent of Jumpsuit. There is the echoing vocals that really fit with the landscape of Trench, I think. And there is also the guitar, the nothing like that is in Trench, but it really feels like it would be part of his song in Trench if it ever got a sequel. But then we can also take a look at the lyrics. They're so cryptic, they're lore related. It kind of reminds me of Levitate in some ways. The high-pitched vocals in the chorus as well that are very reminiscent of My Blood and Morph. This song is insane with how much it feels like Trench. Like, the only thing is the flute-like synth that's in the post-chorus, I think. That's more similar to Clancy than it is Trench. Think of the backslide outro. There's also the bridge that really reminds me of Jumpsuit's bridge, with the outro being something slightly new, but still being the explosive outro you would expect from Jumpsuit. Overall though, I'd say that having 27 out of 30 points 100% earns the Trench 2 spot. Next up, RAWFEAR. Okay, I'll be honest, this song... Okay, no. The vocals are very poppy. Especially in the last chorus when there is like several voices coming in and being like, sounds of empty Uzis. Like that whole thing, it just genuinely feels like a Scaled and Icy kind of thing, or more Clancy, I think maybe. But the whole I can't seem to sit still any longer, that's very, very Trench-like, I'll give it that. And there's also this synth here, which also feels like it just came out of Trench. It's really interesting. I'm really thought over this song because the ooh, like that whole thing, I don't know, that's not very Trench-like, that's very poppy. I don't think that gives it the Trench spot. But then there is also the low-pitched synthy bass and the bridge, which, by the way, the bridge is insane for this song. It's over a minute long. I think the structure itself really helps with the song not feeling as poppy as it is. It's a bit repetitive, I think. Like, the fact that RAWFEAR is spelled all in caps, though, I think gives it some intrigue that, for example, you would get from a song called Pet Cheetah. I don't know. If you think about the fact that this comes right after City Walls, it just really halts the momentum of the album, I think. It's a good song. It's just that it kind of ruins the atmosphere that City Walls was bringing. So this is a total of 16 out of 30. It's technically halfway there, but I don't really want to place it as a Nico's relative, so I'm just gonna place it in Glimpses of Banditos. Alright, next up, we got Drum Show. This is the greediest song on the album, isn't it? That alone makes it feel more Trench-like. But it's just that everything else does not really feel like Trench. I mean, sure, there is the high-pitched vocals that kind of remind me of maybe Morph, or Cut My Lip, actually. But other than that, the whole feel it, like, that's very poppy. The lyrics are not very cryptic, they're not super intriguing, even though they're very relatable. It's just that I think when it comes to Trench, it's not about relatability as much as it is the intrigue that the songs bring. The structure is very radio-friendly, and the atmosphere, I don't think it really exists here. I think it's just kind of a banger and a vibe to begin with. I think it's actually one of the best songs they've ever done. It's just that it doesn't have a lingering atmosphere that makes you think like, whoa, that felt like a journey. And the song does not need to be long for it to feel like that. You'll see later what I mean. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even think it knows what a trench is. I mean, what, it got like 11 points out of 30. There's some parts that kind of feel like trench, but not really. I feel like garbage. Wait, why doesn't it work? There it is. Check this out. I'm learning it on this keyboard from the 1990s. I think this just broke. Well, okay, I wanted to show the fact that I learned this song on the piano, but clearly I cannot. Nico stopped me. So, am I crazy, or is this song basically the hype to Electric Boogaloo? It's not exactly, but I think the strings really give me those vibes. There's also the electric guitar in the song's last chorus, or I guess you could call it outro, which it really reminds me of Cut My Lips outro with the do 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 do. I think it really adds to the grittiness in some way, because the song feels very clean and very polished when it comes to the production, especially with the piano, but towards the end it just gets a little bit of grittiness that I think adds a lot of trench elements to it. Yeah, the lyrics are very simple, but I think the vocal delivery helps a lot to remind the listeners of trench. The vocal color is so trench-like, but the structure of the song kind of carries everything down, as well as the atmosphere. For some reason, the atmosphere is just not there. I feel like there's not enough low tones going through the song where it makes you feel like, whoa, I'm in a world, or like I'm in a separate world and all that. It just doesn't feel like that. So yeah, and now the contract. Okay, so the autotune, the electric guitar, the cheesy piano and screaming are not like trench at all. So it's the most ADHD pleasing song that the band's ever released, I think. But it just represents Breach too well. It feels like the heart of Breach, so I cannot even try placing it in any other album. Also, it feels like, due to how chaotic it is, it doesn't have the time to immerse the listener as much as it would maybe like to. It's too unstable, I think, to be on trench. I think this is definitely the heart of Breach. This is, if I were to be like, hey, can you summarize Breach in one song? I think I'd either say The Contract, Downstairs, or Center Mass, but I just don't think I could ever fit this into trench at all. Out of all the songs that I've mentioned so far, I think it's the one that fits it the least. The lyrics technically fit because they are very cryptic, but they're a bit too repetitive, I feel like. Okay, where's Downstairs now? Because this is gonna be a good one now. Wait, where's Downstairs? There it is. This song belongs to regional at best. It doesn't belong to trench. Okay, but if we were to try looking at it and placing it into an officially released album, I think trench might be it. What I think makes this song stand out and belong to my favorite record, which is trench, is its ability to really create an atmosphere and feel like an experience beginning to end. It has some dubstep influences that I feel like could really belong in the second half of trench. I swear, it's as if Cut My Lip and Pet Cheetah had a baby. The synths are very intriguing. They feel a bit poppy. Definitely, they feel a bit generic, but even then it just feels so immersive. The lack of grittiness doesn't really matter, as there are also plenty of songs in trench that don't have that grit. And yeah, the lyrics are very on your face, which is more akin to trenchy, which is more akin to classy, but man, I don't care. I think the atmosphere points are so on point that it just generally feels like it could be in the second half of trench. I feel like the vocals feel so genuine that they fit right in with trench. The lyrics are the only thing that doesn't really fit, I think. But then the fact that it changes key in the last parts of the song. I think it makes it very unique and less radio friendly in some ways. Plus the length, hell yeah. 5 minutes and 20 seconds, I think. That's crazy. That's very trench-like as well. And the atmosphere. Just try listening to this song at 3 a.m. with headphones on and then tell me you don't agree with the atmosphere being crazy in this. So yes, I think this... Yeah, I think this one could be be in Trench too. I would not be weirded out if I saw Downstairs with a Trench album cover. Okay, next up, Robot Voices. Yeah, I think it's less Trench-like than The Contract. It's the most popular song on the album. Nothing here reminds me of Trench. Literally not a single thing. I mean, I like it. I think the verses are great. It really reminds me of the Postal Service. It's another band. You should check it out. It's fantastic.
Half-drawn blinds, casting lines on the floor as my metal friend flashes in time. The daisy chain power strips generating.
It's just more skill than Icy like. It would not make sense to place it in any other album if not that. And guess what? Yeah, this song is a collaboration between 21 Pilots and Blanket Approval. So yeah, it would be weird if it fit with like other songs such as Chlorine or Pet Cheetah. I mean, it's just, no. It deserves to be in What's the Trench? Center Mass, where are you? First of all, this is my favorite song. And you know why it's my favorite song? Because it's very Trench-like. No, I'm kidding. That is not why it is, but there's definitely some Trench vibes. Definitely. Hear me out. I think Center Mass would fit right after My Blood and before Chlorine. I might be insane, but try checking it out. I might want to do that as well, to be honest, because I've not tried that. I just came up with this now, but trust me. It's just, Tyler's flow and vocal delivery is crazy. Like, it feels so unique, like a lot of Trench songs felt at the time when first hearing them. And also the back and forth between the two voices in the pre-chorus. Like, isn't that very Morph-like? Where there is the deeper vocals and then there is the falsetto that kind of speak to each other or like talk about related things. And here there is the, I thought you had to figure it out. I know. You said I made it to the top. I lied. That whole thing. Like, it feels very, it really reminds me of Morph. And also their lyrics feel pretty cryptic, and the fact that the second half has nothing to do with the first half in regards to the song, it's very Chlorine-like, and it's kind of hindered by the fact that it's less than 4 minutes long, because a lot of songs on Trench that would be like this would be a lot longer, but God, I love this song. I think the second half also gains a lot of points when it comes to the grittiness. I think this is the song that has the most lyrics in the album. Maybe City Walls might have more, but the fact that this song is, what, a minute and a half less than City Walls, and it feels like it rivals that, I'm dying. I think that actually Robot Voices, Center Mass, Cottonwood, One Way, like all these songs actually leading to each other in a really perfect way. I know that Robot Voices sounds weird to say, but there is some vocal effects in the backing vocals that are used in both songs that kind of connect the two together, I noticed, and that really goes a long way to make the last tracks or the middle tracks feel more cohesive. So yeah, Center Mass, Trench 2. Now we're going into Cottonwood. Also, I'm playing with this. I don't even know where I found it. Hope it doesn't bother you. It's quite interesting. Cottonwood. Am I wrong here, or do the chords that you can hear in the chorus of Cottonwood feel like a distorted bass? Because if that's the case, this song really feels like Leave the City, where there is the very quiet, distorted bass in the background. And alongside that, it just feels like Legend, but more sad and gloomy in comparison. And after all, they're both made after one of Tyler Joseph's grandparents sadly passing away. So it would make sense if the two songs kind of feel related, right? The lyrics are kind of cryptic. It doesn't outright mention the fact that someone passed away or like make it a bit explicit, similarly to the outro of Legend. I think that if this song came on in Trench, if I'd shuffle with Cottonwood in the middle, I don't think I would find it too weird. I think the song has really helped with its placement. I think the fact that it's between Center Mass and One Way, both songs that feel very Trench-like. Spoiler alert for One Way, whoops. It really helps a lot. I feel like if it was in Trench, it would have more bells and whistles. So I'm not gonna say that it lives on Trench, but I think it actually feels more than just glimpses of banditos. So there it is, Cottonwood. I think it could be Nico's relative. Where's my boy One Way? This song I absolutely despised when I first heard it, and so did the people I reacted with. I'm not really sure why. It's such a short song. It's really vibey, and I'm just gonna say it. What are you gonna do about it? First of all, there is a bit of a reggae influence in this song. It's very much like, guess what song? Cut My Lip. I swear, Breach is filled with Cut My Lip sequels. After all, Tyler said himself that Cut My Lip was his favorite song in Trench, right? It wouldn't make sense if he tried making more songs like that. See, where is it? One Way. Where is it? Okay, I was saying, I think they really remind me of Cut My Lip as well. Where is it? Oh no, I've lost. Where am I? There it is. The reggae influence that I think it starts with the piano at the beginning, then becomes a harpsichord towards the, I think, end of the bridge. And then, oh my god, there's also the beep boop synth that plays in the outro, which is this one. Which it's very psychedelic, which I think is a really important element when it comes to Trench songs. The lyrics are very simple, but they feel kind of cryptic at the same time. I think the way that it talks about a system, it just feels very ominous, and I think that really helps with the vibes of the song. It's not my favorite song on the record, I'm not gonna say that, but it just feels like a track that would be in Trench Deluxe.
We're gonna add some songs to the record to kind of like wrap it up, and he goes, oh, like a deluxe. My heart sank. It was just like, that's how you describe fast food.
I just wish the song was longer, because it has grown on me a lot, but I don't know, I just feel like it has a bit of a sinister atmosphere that I really wish I could live in a bit more, especially because the song after is Lie Dormant, and it leads into it, and it feels like an explosion of energy. Is there another key change in this song? Because it feels like there is when it gets to the bridge, but I'll have to double check that, to be honest. I've not listened to the song as much as others, which is crazy. It's a very short song that sets an amazing atmosphere. And yeah, so it's Trench too. I think it would fit so well into Trench. My days lie dormant. So I love this song. It's just that it's more similar to something you'd find on Vessel or on Clancy, really. The synths are very poppy. The radio-friendly length as well doesn't really help. The whistling after the first chorus, I mean, what is it? I think it's the run and go. Let's fake you out, have whistling. I think it might just be the run and go. It's just not fit Trench at all. It's more Vessel-like, really. I like the song. It's just that it's not. Come on, if you think of Jumpsuit or My Blood, you're not gonna think of Days Lie Dormant next. Like, you get me? It's a great song, but it just doesn't fit. Look, let me just put it this way. It's more gray and white than it is yellow and black. Follows the same structure as what Mulberry Street and the Run and Go, where there is the bridge that's like a piano thing, and then it just explodes into a repetition of the chorus. I think it kind of clashes with One Way, as Josh Dunn said in the audio note that's present in One Way. So I think it just kind of drags you out of the atmosphere, sadly. So Days Lie Dormant doesn't even know what a Trench is. Tally. The dirty bass, combined with the cymbal choke and the snare hit, I don't know why they remind me of Jumpsuit. It's weird because that stuff doesn't exist in Jumpsuit. It just feels like it would be in Jumpsuit. It's kind of like a weird Mandela effect in myself. But if it wasn't for that weird Mandela effect, I think that the gritty bass just kind of takes a backseat after the beginning and the end. And the bridge is, with the auto-tune, feels a lot more like the contract. So I don't really think it's Trench-like at all. The lyrics do feel a bit cryptic and kind of low-related, even though I think it's actually more about... So I'm willing to give it a couple points for the lyrics, I suppose, but the sound is very poppy, and it just feels like the sound of this song would fit better with Clancy than it would with Trench. Or hell, you know what? I think this song is probably the closest we get to a Blurryface. I think the starting vocals are very Blurryface-like.
Don't you test me though, just because I play the piano, it doesn't mean I'm not willing to take you down. I'm sorry. I lost my rank and title, I turned my back on it, sold it all at a discount. I wanted to progress things.
I swear he recorded those like a while ago, because they don't sound anything like he sounds now. So that's my prediction for that. I think that Ali was recorded a while ago, the first part at least, and then everything else just Tyler added later on and made a full song out of it. There isn't that many interesting synths except for like the post-chorus where he was like, but that doesn't really, I don't know, man. It feels a bit poppy. The vocal color, there is a lot of autotune in it, and there is some angstiness in the song that I think does not belong to Trench. The fact that it's a bit lore related in some ways, and the fact that it feels like it's talking about something intriguing, which I think is actually Burnout, it definitely gives it points. I don't know, it just doesn't. It's a good song, but except for a couple hints of Trench here and there, I think we're just getting glimpses of Bandito's intentions. No. This song does not belong on Vessel. Oh yes, but it's truce reversed. Oh no, but it's truce reversed, so it's Vessel. No, it's not Vessel, okay? The vocals are so much akin to Leave the City, I think. It's crazy. Okay, let me just get into this. The song is 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. And it sets such a sinister atmosphere to me for some reason. It just feels very uneasy, very haunting. I would say that's just because I know Truce, but when I reacted with my friends to the album, spoiler alert, the two girls, Mila and Unicorn Puke, who were not really 21 Pilots fans, when they first heard this song, especially Mila agrees that this song has a really strong atmosphere. So I think it's just a reverse piano that does a lot of the heavy lifting. And of course, Paul Meany does that too, because he's the one that's produced a lot of the songs on this album. Ever since he produced the songs that 21 Pilots make, I think that the band actually got better. I don't know, I don't have much more to say about this. Lyrics are a bit repetitive. I mean, after all, it's not really carried by the lyrical weight. I think the atmosphere and the structure and the meaning behind the song and the references is what make the song feel more Trench-like. I don't know, I was gonna put it in Trench too, but I don't want to put it in Trench too. While the atmosphere is really, really good, it's not very Trench-like, is it? I think it's kind of Nico's relative here, you get me? If I'm gonna snap next, then I've got a drag path. The last song on the record is thankfully very long, at 5 minutes. It just follows the same formula. Leave the City set. The first minute is sweet, quiet singing. It gradually builds up into a massive crescendo, and it just kind of dwindles out before a satisfying conclusion. It doesn't have the sonic resolution that you would expect from such a big build-up, which it's definitely intentional and it works. Also, the outro being mainly Tyler playing the piano and singing softly, similarly to Leave the City. This feels like a sequel to Leave the City in some ways. And yeah, this song I think feels like an experience 100%. Like it kind of belongs in the same tier as Downstairs, Bandito, Chlorine, and City Walls, except for like a few beat boop synths that feel more classy-like. I think what's used here feels very reminiscent of that album from 2018. I think it could actually live on Trench. So we can all see here, it's a surprising amount of songs that really made it here. Okay, but can we be honest here? I don't think that Reach was even trying to be Trench 2. I think it has its own identity, as I said earlier. I think it has more personality than Clancy does. It's just that a lot of songs definitely feel like they could have been written during Trench. Downstairs, One Way, City Walls. I mean, they all absolutely carry the torch, but it's just that a lot of other songs that just kind of feel like their own thing. I feel the whole album it definitely has a big immersion factor like Trench does, but it doesn't even try to be like Trench. But what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with my tier list? Do you think Robot Voices is more akin to Bandito, or do you think that maybe Downstairs is more similar to Bounce Man? And I know this is a bit cheesy to say, but if you enjoy the content I'm making, I would really like it if you could show the appreciation just through leaving a like, or just leaving your thoughts down there, or maybe even subscribing if you're particularly interested in seeing what else I might work on. I'll be uploading the second part to the Breach reaction, I think towards maybe the next week, and then after that I'll be carrying out a track-by-track analysis of Breach with some little story elements going between them.